What is going on, guys? Thank you for joining us. We are here. We are live. It is the 18th of June. It is myself and James. I assume Ryan will be joining us shortly. So, James, we are going to be talking Football Manager Legends this evening. The reason behind that is you released something special today. So, do you want to just tell people what you've been doing?
I did. It took 2-3 hours to do, and I basically took all the legends of, well, not all of them because there's a few missing, but I put about 40 odd legends together from Championship Manager and Football Manager days throughout the last 10-15 years, put them into one team, but only the ones that are still actually playing I put in that team, and then other ones that are on the database who are actually in the database but retired, I made them as members of staff. So the plan was originally to do a maximum of 30 players, so I could get maybe 2 in each position and a couple more, but I just kept on adding and adding, and I ended up doing about 42 players or something.
Now, before people wonder exactly who, now, unfortunately, James decided what he would do is upload onto his Facebook page, Football Manager Whizzkids, the smallest image in the world. So when I've actually enlarged the image, it's come out this size, guys.
The only reason I made it that size is so I could get more names on each screenshot.
Right.
I zoom in myself.
Bloody annoying sometimes. Sometimes Facebook, when you click to enlarge an image, it'll go full screen. Other times it does this.
Yeah, but I've got the images open anyway, so I can refer to it.
Well, obviously some people might say, why is that guy in? Why is that guy in? It's not as in legend, as in this guy who's 200 potential or whatever. It's players who have obviously impressed, isn't it, over the years?
Yeah, I mean, for example, we've got Martin's favourite, one of his favourites, left back, Gareth Jellyman. Now, a lot of people will look at him and go, who? Because at the moment he's a player coach, he's got half a star, he's valued at 1.3 thousand, he's aged 33, and you're asking, well, why is he in there? Well, he'll be able to confirm that 10 years ago he was an absolute boss on Championship Manager, Football Manager.
There you go. Hey Ryan, cheers for joining us.
The point of this is not that they were legends or amazing in real life, it's what they've done on the game throughout the years that we've seen appear on places such as the SI forums and other websites as well.
I mean, we'll start off with the goalkeepers. Now, what I will say, people, is the plan was to go through each one on Football Manager this evening, but unfortunately my Football Manager's decided what he wants to do is totally crash. If that kicks in halfway through, we will do that and pick out some of our own personal favourites who might not be on this list. But for now, we're just going to go through and just kind of reminisce on some of these players. Now, do you want to read the 4 goalkeepers, James, first?
Yeah, but before I do, I have to say it was the 3 of us at the WizKids that came up with this, so the other 2 guys they played Championship Manager years before me. I'd only ever played the very last Championship Manager, so some of these are based on what they've done as well, not just myself.
Who didn't take part?
Edvard, he wasn't around at the time. I think he was at school or something.
Can't get the stuff, can you, James?
No.
Go on, Paul. Read them 4 keepers out.
Alright, so the goalkeepers are René Adler, Roy Carroll. To me, yes or no, I would have taken or leaving them. And the other 2 I definitely would have had in was Andre Isaacson and the main man, Igor Akinfeev. If you've not used him in Football Manager in your life, you've been hiding away too much.
Absolute beast, isn't he? I mean, I remember years ago.
God.
It must have been about 21 when I used him, when I actually managed CSK, and that guy was a beast. And also Isaacson, the Swedish goalkeeper, again, is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, Akinfeev is only actually 28 now, so we could still be using him now, and he's still at CSKA, so on Football Manager 2015, he'd still be pretty much easy enough to get.
Exactly, and he's still in his prime at the end of the day. He's probably not reached his prime.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have any past experience with Roy Carroll?
Not really, but I do have Akinfeev. I've had him quite a few times at Man United on previous Football Managers.
There we go. And also, the first one, James, do you know, I'm extremely surprised he's 29. In René Adler. I genuinely thought he was a lot younger than that.
Yeah, you might be thinking of Robert Enka.
No, it's definitely that one. I just genuinely thought he was a lot younger. But
I mean,
it shows how long. Sometimes when you play football manager games, you get kind of stuck in a time warp sometimes.
yeah, I mean the one with Roy Carroll being put in there. A lot of people think, oh, the later years, maybe 2003 or 4 when he was at Manchester United, but it was previous to that when he was at Wigan, and you could pick him up for about 200 grand, and he was a bargain and turned out to be a real good goalkeeper. So let's not refer to real life when he moved to Manchester United and
No, definitely.
only made about 40 appearances.
Definitely. I remember him from, like you said, before Man United, and you could get him cheap, and he was an awesome goalkeeper at the time.
Yeah, we've tried to get some value for money in here as well.
And hey, just stay tuned, lads. Stay tuned. Football Manager has kicked in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to the Football Manager stream. And what we'll do, guys, is James will go through them players first, if that's okay, James. And then what we'll do is, as you name certain ones, we'll bring them up for people to look at on the screen. On Football Manager 2015, so you can see how good they are currently on the game, and obviously we'll discuss what they were like. So there's Roy Carroll, James. Now, do you know what, James? If you looked at that, he is a freaking good goalkeeper, pal.
Tell you what, for that level he's at, he's really good. I mean, bear in mind, 36 is just coming to the year. It's not bad for a goalkeeper. A goalkeeper can go to 38, and I would still happily have him in or around the squad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jake's just saying in the side, why don't you just load the database? If you listen, Jake, I did say we were going to then pick out some of our own favourites and stuff, hence why I wanted the original database for the players. So as well as James's Legends database, which is in the description for this show, so anyone who's listening back on YouTube, for example, which a lot of our views come from, just scroll down. The link is to James's page and for the database to download. So...
Just before we move on, I have to say that kind of stupidity from Mr. Stewart is the reason why I rejected his CV for Football Manager WizKids this morning.
There you go, exactly. A lot of people will like James's database, but a lot of people will listen to this show just to hear about Football Manager Legends. They don't want to see them all at one club. They want to see where they are currently. But I don't have the list up now. So I am flying blind. So as James brings up players, I will be typing them in. So defence-wise, James, where are we going first?
Okay, we'll go through the central defender first now. The first one is Walter Samuel. Everybody knows Walter Samuel.
Great player.
Yeah, I think he's at Basel just now in Switzerland. But
there we are.
Of course, the Argentine defender who was a legend for them for many years.
I was about to ask if Ryan was okay because it just some weird noises started. As you said, Walter Samuel, you just say.
So the other ones we got up were Mario Yepes. He's at the end of his career. At the end of his career now, yeah. John O'Shea.
Obviously, the wrong one.
Obviously, Martin being a Man United fan,
Can I just go back? Sorry, James. Can I just go back to Yepes just for a second? Because I think that's a fantastic shout to bring up, and he's actually a lot quicker now. In previous Football Managers, he only had maybe 5 or 6 for pace. Now I don't know if that was down to the scouting knowledge on him, for example. You know, like the researcher's opinion. But he does seem to be a little bit quicker now. And I mean, look at them stats. I mean, Ryan, seriously, look at them. He's 38, and in my opinion, I would play him in any squad.
Just stick him at centre back and let him smash people to pieces.
Stats are amazing, James.
Yeah, rock solid there.
Where do you want to go next? I won't show John O'Shea because, well, we all know what club he plays at.
No, I'll point out the ones that you should bring up, the more important ones. Okay, so the next one was Naldo from Werder Bremen. Now, he was a bit of a tank. I've used him personally myself. But the next one I think you should show is Michael Duff from Burnley.
Yeah, great player. Experienced player.
Yeah, now he rolls back to the Championship Manager days, and Martin was adamant in the database I should have made him captain, but I went against that decision and never. So he's apparently a bit of a legend as well.
Again, I think... I mean, I couldn't remember where I signed him from, but I assume it was Cheltenham because I think it was around the 2001, 2002 times I used to sign him. And obviously this is when Cheltenham were toying, they won promotion to League One, etc. So as you say, James, Martin was no doubt reminiscing and getting excited about this young kid at the time who you could sign, and he was a rock-solid defender.
Yeah, very much so. He's got quite good stats there.
He's not bad. I mean, he's not. Is he Premier League quality? I'm not sure. Maybe a limited defender.
I don't think I'll play in Premier League. I mean, when I look at the central defenders and I want to sign them, I look at pace just now. So, like for example, I reviewed a player last night on YouTube, and he had 17 pace, and he was only 18 years old for a central defender. And I was just telling people you have to try and sign him.
Some people. I mean, I agree with you about pace wise, but there's a player from if you bear with me 1 second, I can actually bring him up. And this guy will. Fuck off, I hate it when you randomly brings up someone else. Football Manager really need to fix that. There, you literally go to click on something, it randomly brings up more options. He is somebody who will become a Football Manager legend. But look at his pace, James. So do you avoid him because of his pace?
He'd be very limited to which clubs I would buy him for.
FM 14, I signed him and he turns into such a beast. But go on, James, where are we going next, pal?
Okay, I'm trying to flip back and forth between screens here.
Once we go through the Legends database James has put together, I'm going to be flying for people to randomly name some legends or see if we can remember some legends. I've got a couple who don't appear in James's database, which I'm really disappointed about. So I'll bring them up later.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll give you a couple of names before we go to someone. Another one is Billy Jones, I think he's currently at Sunderland. Another one, kind of like the Michael Duff. When he was younger, you could pick him up for pennies. Gareth Jellyman, who we also mentioned, Championship Manager days. I don't know too much.
Shall we show him just so people can see?
Gareth Jellyman. You will find him as I think it's a player assistant manager just now.
Am I spelling it right? Just Jelly, Jelley.
It's Jelley. EY. There you go.
So there you go. He's currently at Stamford. And as you say, but then when you look at them stats, you can actually imagine him on previous ones. He was possibly hyped up, as you say. At Mansfield as well. Mansfield had an awesome team around 02, 03, 03, 04. He was at Peterborough as well, so I can imagine him having a really good stats. So it's another interesting shout. So where we go next? Do you want to name a couple more?
Yeah, the next two I would like you to bring up because everybody should know these. These are arguably two of the best fullbacks to have graced the Sports Interactive games in recent years. The first one we'll go to is Anthony Van den Borre.
Oh, this guy's been in my dreams for longer than I care to remember. It's Van De, isn't it?
I think Van Den is one word. VANDEN, one word.
There we are. Oh, this guy, for so many years. I remember when he was like 16, 17 on the game.
It's unbelievable to think he's only 26 years old, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy when people. I think it was Portsmouth when he was 21, was it? It was about 21.
That was a dream, him coming to England.
It was when they signed him and people were like, who's this kid? And you can just imagine all of us in our bedrooms going, I know he is. Signing for years, man.
Look how versatile he is on the game.
Yeah, he's absolutely quality. Really is. And I like the fact he's gone back to Anderlecht. Obviously, it's not really the best for him. He hasn't had a lot of success. But in Football Manager, this guy is a legend.
Definitely.
And he is one of the names. He is one of the people who you can actually call a Football Manager legend. So where we go next?
Okay, this one, he's still playing for a pretty big club, and he's 32. Is Dario Srna at Shakhtar.
This guy is again a player who people had no doubt at some point in their Football Manager, Championship Manager careers have signed.
Look at that. That's pure consistent. He's had them attributes for years.
He has just crazy stats, isn't it? I mean, he's just unbelievable. I mean, apart from him not being able to throw the ball, he's just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I never even noticed that for a full-back. Can't throw the ball.
Ryan, have you used him much?
Yes, quite a lot.
Cool. I mean, it's probably a good job you're sat in the background today because you need to think of 5 or 6 players for the later on in the show.
And that's what I'm doing.
Fantastic. Next one, James. Or do you wanna...
Go on Google and search. You'll find loads of old articles about Football Manager and Championship Manager legends.
Don't give him clues, James. He has to think of them off the top of his head. Right,
Okay, so we'll go through a couple before bringing one up. The next one is Leonardo Ponzio at River Plate. He's a central defender. I think he's been there for many, many years. But the next one you could bring up, and I think most people should know who he is, it's Kim Karlstrom.
Oh, yeah. Another fantastic player who's been around for a long time. He's actually a grasshopper now. As you see, he obviously went on loan to Arsenal, didn't he, this year? But obviously became famous, I think, when he was at Rennes. He became a proper big name. A lot of people might know him from Hacken as a youngster you could pick up, but I didn't he didn't really enter my radar until he'd moved to Lyon.
Yeah, I mean, he's just moved to Grasshoppers, so it's an interesting move there.
Great signing for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's still only 31. So again, one of them players who's just been around for so long.
Okay, the next one I would like to bring up. Now this one comes back from Football Manager 2012, where Martin and myself were almost in competition because we had him in our teams at pretty much the same time, and he was just fantastic, and he just got better and better in each of our saves. It's Milan Badelj.
Oh, hang on then. Milan. This is going to be interesting. I've never heard of him. Am I spelling it right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Oh, hang on, the name looks familiar now. Ah, yes, okay. I just no idea how to pronounce it, so I'd never heard it.
Oh, Milan Badge is how you say it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been at Fiorentina, I think, a couple of years now, but it was before when he was at Dinamo Zagreb, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Hamburg, that was it as well. He was just incredible. I played him alongside a player that I'm going to mention in a few minutes, and what a player he was. He was so good.
I mean, he's a great player. I mean, no doubt people who watch this will possibly go on and try to snap some of these players up. I mean, he's only 25, and he's already one of them players who people around the Football Manager world are like, oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even hit his prime, but kind of the point of this as well is people watching this back, they could... Oh, I forgot about him. I'll have a look at him and I'll try him. Because
exactly.
A lot of these names you will forget.
I mean, a couple of mine are still in the early 20s, but because they've been on my radar and on a lot of people's radars for the last 3 or 4 years, I think they justify a shout out at the end. So go on, James, where we go next?
The one that everybody knows he came to life on Football Manager 2013, but I believe I was one of the first using him on FM 12. They didn't have his face pack picture. He had no good stats. I'd only used him because I'd heard he was linked with big clubs at the age of 16, I think it was, 16ish. Everybody knows him. It's Will Hughes.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, if you've played Football Manager the last 2-3 years and you don't know who he is, you're probably playing the game wrong.
Exactly. Will Hughes, like I say, is a player who I think I was lucky where I often used to enjoy playing as Derby, so the first time he became in their youth system on the game, it was like, who's this kid? And then you're like, he's got potential.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Football Manager documentary, you'll see that they send a researcher to watch him in training. They'd give him good attributes in FM 13, FM 14, but they showed you him going to review him in training and see what he's like, if they can improve or decrease anything for the Football Manager 2015, and his value rocketed up to 8 million at the start, so everybody knows who he is. Absolute world class.
Yeah. An FM legend, a future legend possibly, who knows?
Crazy, 19 years old, and the world of Football Manager knows who he is.
Exactly.
Okay,
next?
The next one is one I didn't actually use, but thousands of people around the community mention him, is that Kennedy Bakiroglu? Something like that. I know he's ex-Ajax.
Okay. How we spelling it?
So, no, if you write his first name in Kennedy, Kennedy, and then write BAK, and that should come up. That's him there.
There we go. Kennedy.
Yeah, that's him. All the players of 6, 7 years ago will remember him. Personally, I don't remember using him, to be honest.
I recognise his face.
But I think he's ex-Ajax.
Yeah, Ajax SC20, Hammarby.
A lot of people do know who he is. I actually got a few comments saying, I'm glad you got him and it was good to see him again.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good when you actually throw one in who you're really not familiar with.
Yeah, the next one is, again, Martin told me to put him in because he was an absolute god back in the days. Simon Davis, ex-Tottenham Fulham.
Yeah.
He's now playing in the almost Welsh pub leagues, and he's actually paying £2 subs every Sunday to play. I think his brother runs the team or something.
Well, I got the right one. I mean, he's still got fairly decent stats, hasn't he?
That's them, Solva, I think they're called, something like that. Yeah.
But again, a great player. Let me pick the next one off your list. Now, do you know why? Do you know
I'll delete him off my list then.
When I saw him on your list, James, do you know that the first thing I thought was I actually remember the days where he was unbelievable. No, what? It was literally like, oh my God, I've signed this kid from Scotland. He's going to be a world star.
Well, again, he was on the Football Manager documentary as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think mainly because he literally was the definition of the word Football Manager legend, because this guy could play for any club and just completely tear it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few players you actually hear of Miles Jacobson talking about personally, like how much he used him at Watford.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely an interesting experience to see him develop and not really take off, where in Football Manager he was obviously out of this world. I mean, as you see, he ended up going to Greece for a couple of years, but apart from that, his career's just been in Scotland. And they've all been moves for free, so he's not exactly rolling in it. But where are we going next, James? We've got 7 minutes before we go into personal choices.
Right, okay, so I'll skip a few. The next one we'll go to Simon Walton. Ex-Leeds United. Oh. He was a wonder kid when he came on the scene. But
is this the one who I used to sign off when he played for Plymouth, or is it before?
Yeah, that's him. And he got a bad injury of about 2 years, and then he kind of went off the scene.
Released, James?
He got released last week.
Leeds, Charlton, Ipswich, Card. Look at this, man. Your definition of yo-yo. QPR, Hull, Plymouth, Blackpool, Plymouth Crew, Plymouth Sheffield United, Plymouth Hartlepool. Wow.
Now, if you go back to that season where he had at Leeds 30 games, he must have only been about 20-ish.
Yeah.
And then that's obviously when he made his name that game.
I mean, wrong. But I mean, he's been so many clubs and he's only 26. I hope he hasn't bought a house in every one of them towns. Where we go next, James?
Right, don't want you to show this one, but I want to give him a mention. Is Freddie Garin, the Colombian at Inter Milan.
Yeah,
he's only 28, but everybody knows him. So the next one I want you to show is, of course, Freddie Adu. We can't do a list like this without bringing him up.
And I'll just quick plug James for the season in Finland video, which I did with him at Cooper's. The most successful video on my channel. Definitely worth checking out. But yeah, there we go, James. The man, 25 years old again, like Simon Walton, been in more clubs than freaking probably owned houses. DC United, he was obviously out of this world. I mean, I remember signing him at the age of 16 and 15, if not maybe 15, and it was just unbelievable.
That's a bizarre career he's had there. Like
when he was at Benfica, you could get him on loan. I remember that as well. I remember when he went to Philadelphia, I played in the MLS on it, and then he went obviously then hopping around, didn't he? And I've not really checked how he started in Finland. It might be worth actually me having a look at that. Have a bit of a nose. But where are we going next?
Right, we're going to my second, maybe first all-time favourite on Football Manager, Gylfi Sigurdsson at Swansea.
Okay, can't spell it. I'm going to cheat. Go to Swansea. Oh, I thought he would have been in that list. Where's he? There he is. Great player. He's only 24, James. How scary is that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. On Football Manager 2012, I had him as my captain by the age of 26, I think. And honestly, he got 30 plus assists and over 20 goals a season, and he was a set piece master. Great player on the game.
I mean, this was sad when he left Reading to go to Hoffenheim. I mean, it wasn't too bad for me because I enjoyed playing as Hoffenheim because obviously an up-and-coming club. But when he come back to England, just for the fact of being able to view him in real-life football, it was good to see him come back.
Yeah, that move from Tottenham to Swansea has really let us see how good he is.
I'll just quickly downside. Legend Sholif and Jake, he says, Cerner is a god. Will Hughes is coming to the tune. We can dream, can we? And he's playing against me in Finland. He's obviously on about Freddie Adu. Can I pick the next one?
Yeah.
One of the ones off your list. Juan Pablo Angel, James. Do you want to just tell me your experience with this man? Because obviously you haven't played the game for too long. So he won't have been in his prime, would he, when you started playing Football Manager?
Well, I think he was late. Well, I've known him from Villa. I'd swear I really known him. I didn't know him too much before Villa. And
sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, it was a recommendation by one of the boys that put him in there.
It's definitely a great recommendation because I actually remember in '98, I think it was, I signed him from River Plate. And I told everybody, and you find someone and you think you found a legend. And I was like, oh my God, I found this guy, he's awesome. And then Villa signed him in real life, and I remember telling my friends, signed him on Football Manager. It's amazing when that happens. I think it's a great feeling. And it's one of the reasons why we love the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where we go next?
I'll run through the list and I'll save a couple for the end.
No problem.
So we've got Daniel Bratton, we've got Bressan, the former Batty Borisov
legend.
John Bostock, he was good as a youngster. We've got Cherno Samba, a lot of people know him. Nicholas Milan, Sherman Cardenas, Leohang Mokoena, Robinho Paulo Aymar, Javier Saviola, Ibrahim Bagayoko, Fernando Cavanaggi,
legend.
Carlos Fierro. God, that Football Manager 2012 was amazing. The last two are Adam Campbell.
Obviously. Can I just ask why I'm loading Adam Campbell? Did you ever sign Cavanaghi?
No.
Oh, James, honestly. That guy was an absolute goal machine. And I think it was Bordeaux he came to. And they killed him on Football Manager because as soon as he came to Bordeaux, his stats seemed to be worse.
Now that you've said Bordeaux, I've just realised one I've missed out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you remember Henry Savet?
I do. He was only on about £800 a week, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I allowed him for next to nothing, and then he only asked for about £800 a week wages. I always remember that guy. That's a great shout.
When I update it, I'll add him in because I added Bojan in not long ago.
There's Adam Campbell.
This guy was God. He was my vice captain from the age of 20, and then he took over as captain from Gylfi Sigurdsson at Newcastle, and he won the Ballon d'Or twice, the Footballer of the Year twice. He was the England captain. He scored for about 5 seasons in a row. He scored 60 plus. His record was, I think, 75 in a season. He dominated the entire game for me, and for me, he will go down as the all-time best for me. But I do have one more that is a favourite ahead of him, and the final player we'll go to is Billy Sharp.
Ah, nice call. Great player from years back. Him and what's his name, Healy, the Northern Ireland striker.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Healy. This was a tough one between him and Gylfi Sigurdsson because they're my 2 all-time favourites. But this guy, from when I first started playing the game, it doesn't matter who you signed him for, you were guaranteed goals.
135 career goals.
Yeah, I mean, you used to call him Billy the Sharpshooter. He was so good.
He's awesome.
Can I just quickly run through some of the staff that I've got?
Ah, sure, go on.
I did put some staff because a lot of people were wondering where these guys or that guys are, but the ones that are retired, I made some of them staff. So, Chris Morgan, Jody Morris, Ricardo Monitz, Chris Llewellyn, John Kennedy, Fabian Barthez, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Julius Agahawa, Craig Bellamy, JJ Kocha, Ariel Ortega, Tommy Swindal Larson, Tonton Zola Makulo, Harry Kuehl, Alan Smith, and Finidi George.
Nice. So what a staff, Ryan.
Yeah, amazing. I've got quite a few. Well, I've actually got 2 because I've been deleting as we're going along.
Oh. 1
I've
second,
got
I just accidentally turned the stream off. Sorry, Ryan, go on, what were you going to say?
I've got two that we want when we're making recommendations. I had quite a few, but then James started listing them, so I thought, oh, James is ahead of me.
Go on then, who do you want me to bring up?
I don't know if he may not be on the game anymore. Tibero West,
Oh, he'll be retired.
I would imagine.
I'll just type in West. I don't even think he's a coach. I've never seen him anyway.
I don't know if he'll be on the actual game.
Today? Oh, he is. He is.
Is he?
Oh no, it's a football team.
Oh man.
Hey, I didn't know there was a club called Tibero West.
I'm pretty sure you'll find him in the editor.
Definitely. You'd expect so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of players you'll find that are on the editor but not on the game. You've got to raise their reputation.
It's quite strange, man, that there's a club called it in Nigeria. I wonder if that's named after him.
Maybe, just to make him feel good.
Yeah. Anyone else, Ryan?
Yep, there's one that completely fell off the radar for Derby. Tonton Zola Mukoko.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I don't think he's listening, James.
No, he's not paying attention, is he?
He's not paying
No,
attention.
listen.
He's just read him out.
Oh, delete. I wasn't listening when I was deleting.
It's unbelievable.
I tell you,
Who's the next one you can't get?
Jake's,
There is. I'm going through a massive list. It's on SI forums.
What's Jake said?
he said he's got a screenshot of Adam Campbell from FM14. Well, after this, I'm going to go back through 3 years of picture to FM12, and I'm going to find an Adam Campbell picture for you.
Well, I want to go through a couple. One of them was on your list, Bresson.
This guy had a release clause, I'm sure he did.
I genuinely think it was about 2009. I actually signed him for Bait before he actually joined the club. Because I was surprised when he actually joined Bait, because I was managing Bait and I signed Bresson, and I had the most beautiful team anyone will ever see. And for about 3 years on Football Manager, every single save I signed him.
I mean, once he left Batty, I don't think I signed him after that because he kind of dropped off the radar a bit.
And then the next one is someone who James decided not to add. Oh, you are freaking kidding me. Make sure I typed it right. Pavel Niak, I did. Why is he not coming up?
Who did he play for?
He played for Bait as well.
Oh,
if he doesn't show up, I've got a screenshot up of him from a couple of years ago, which might be an excuse for why James hasn't got him. I'll forgive him. Right, I'm going to switch screens for people to see. If people recognise this name, there you go, James. You can see him now.
Never heard of him.
This guy, alongside Bresson, for maybe Football Manager 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and probably 2012, James, I signed him with every single club. And this guy is my Football Manager love child. Honestly, when I looked on your list and didn't see him on, I was thinking, what? But I'm sure he's still playing, James. I don't understand why he hasn't come up in the game.
I will have a look on the editor.
But I absolutely love this guy. Him and Bresson are my two all-time favourite players, I would say. I can't think of any which surpass them, let's put it that way.
There was one for low leagues that got brought up in a tweet that was sent to me and you. It's called Jamil Adam. Now that was a name I hadn't heard of for many years. He was a free agent, and if you were League 1 or below, you could sign him for about £100 a week, and he would score buckets of goals.
How do you spell Jamil?
That's it spelled right. He just won't be in the game. He'll be on the editor.
Damn it. Bloody loads as well.
He was fantastic.
There is a couple more because Bait for like 3 or 4 years were just unbelievable. There's a couple who stand out. I mean, this guy here. This guy is again another absolute legend, James.
Okay.
But I've saved the best to the last before we go to Ryan to get confused again. A player who is still young, but since Football Manager 2011, I think. I'll spell his name right, James. It'll definitely help.
Well, he's just moved to Russia recently.
This guy is seriously, it's like just like the best defender I think I've ever had on Football Manager. For the last 3 or 4 years on Football Manager, I sign him whenever I'm a club which can afford him. Or if I play in Norway, for example. He in 2013 in real life, as you see, runners up in the under-21s. He was the captain, and he's just a beast, James. And I can't believe you missed him off.
Oh, there's so many fantastic ones. I mean, a lot of people were calling for the likes of either Balanta to be in it, Doria. For me, I missed out probably 2 absolute kings of the game. Probably after Billy Sharp and Aaron Campbell, my all-time favourite striker is Leandro Damião, and then we have the absolute monster is Dede. God,
Yeah.
when he was discovered, you'd never seen anything like it. And Eder Alvarez Balanta is just Dede number 2, exactly the same.
One person I would say he can almost, can he fall into the bracket? Not a Football Manager legend, not even close to it yet. But Martin Odegaard, James, I think in time he's going to be remembered because of, can you remember at the start of FM15 there was all the internet frenzy to get him on the game?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows who he is.
Them type of things are going to become like, in a couple of years you're going to say, do you remember when Odegaard wasn't on Football Manager and everybody had a big whip round basically to get him on the game? I think that's the type of thing that people remember about Football Manager. I also think this guy, sorry Ryan, just my final one. He's only 18, James, but for Football Manager 2013, 14 and 15 now I've signed this guy. He was in it at the age of 15, he's a beast, and he's still a beast now. I mean, if you look at them stats at the age of 18, he's only going to get better.
I think there's another young guy from Tromsø. I don't know if he's any good on this year. I haven't checked. It's called, I think it's Ingebrigtsen or something. He's at Tromsø. He's a young striker. Don't know if he's any good on this year's team.
I was going to say they have.
That's in there. Down the bottom, the very bottom one.
Got him, James. There you
go. So how do you spell that guy that you just said? That Pavel guy? Is it Pavel Nekhaychik?
It's Pavel Niakaychyk.
Niak.
Yeah.
He's currently playing for, I've just got him on, he's playing for Tomsik.
Yeah, they've spelt it differently on the Football Manager because I just had hit that one up.
Do you know what? I genuinely, something told me that his name has jumped on Football Manager to something different. So how do we spell it so I can bring him up to show him?
On Wikipedia, it's spelled Nyakhychyk.
Oh, hang on. Pavel Nyakhychyk. He's not coming up, is he? Where's he playing in it? Tom?
It's spelled differently in the editor.
Toms. That's how you say it.
Got mission half, lads, just to show you. Oh my god, Tom. James, spell it off the editor.
I've just clicked off it.
It's seriously worth showing you. You guys will go and buy him. People watching will go and check this guy out.
It is Pavel Nekhay. And I just tracked down Jamil Adam. He's playing for Flint Town.
I found him. Oh, there you go, lads. It's like a reminiscent. And I genuinely, this is roughly what his stats were in the past ones, and he still was just unbelievably amazing. He was literally, you would play him on the left wing. They had another winger. Oh my god, I'm going to end up searching for him. They had another winger on the other wing, and then, oh lads, just to make it worse, he was in the Belarus national squad. We could just clicked on him. Oh, I'm going to have to stop, Ryan. We're going to move to you before I literally just go through loads of Belarusian players.
I think we can have a look at the one that Jake has suggested on the side. It's quite a recent one. It's Mario Pilgrezi.
Mario Oh, there's not coming up. It's just bring,
Pugli.
I'm just going to copy from the chat. Best way to do it.
This is Martin's boyfriend, by the way.
Who? Mario Pugliese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as good as he was on FM14. A lot better.
Now, technically, he doesn't look as good.
Now, as you all know, I mean, from FM 05 till FM 12, I used to always play as the likes of Molde, Cork City, Copenhagen, you know, like that type of save. But obviously, since then, as you guys know, I just stick to low league stuff. I like to develop stuff now, and I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah, I think another one for higher leagues was Marco Verratti when he was at Pescara.
Oh, what a diamond he was to find.
Again, a player who I've heard of, but I've never managed. I've never had a chance to manage him. Do you have much experience with him, Ryan? Is he still as good as in the past FMs? I mean, when you look at him, he's unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah, I have him for the FM Online League because I'm PSG at the moment, so quite a lot of experience.
There's one we could have mentioned.
Verratti, yeah.
I mean, 2006, 2005, before he moved to Napoli. I remember he'd been on loan at Genoa, and in 2005, 2006, I was dated the hated ex, who was from Genoa, so I managed their team, and I actually remember him being there.
Pastore could have been another one.
Yeah, Pastore definitely could have been one. PSG have obviously been playing Football Manager when they signed all their guys. Palermo, around that time, James, had a couple of players, didn't he? Who were players who you could snap up cheap. I mean, even Zlatan is a FM legend, isn't he? Because, I mean, you think when he was at Ajax, for example, but after that, you couldn't really get him for cheap money. But when he was at Ajax, you definitely could. What about Victor Fischer, for example, if we're going through the younger people, Ryan?
Yeah, there's two Romanians, I think they are, Niso Stancu and Gabriel Icao.
Stancu.
Yeah, but the best one of the lot of them Romanians is only just turned 18. It's Doran Rotario.
Oh no, we've got to go for the old ones. What's the older one called? What's his name?
Stancu Niso. His name is, but I think there's an I before the U at the end.
Oh, okay. Oh, there was. I saw it.
Oh
no, he's only 21. I'm thinking of the one who's probably in his 30s now. Yeah, he's not even in the national team now. There was a player from years ago. Someone will send us his full name, and I'll actually be able to search it. Because I'm actually enjoying reminiscing on some of the random players we've come across in the past. Rodrigo Gomez, Jackson.
Gabriel Icao, and probably future one will probably be Luka Jovic. A lot of people seem to buy him now.
Tom Evans was saying Svensson is good. I assume he means the Norwegian one. He's definitely good. His younger brother's even better, so he's definitely one to look out for.
As Van Rat, there's another one.
That's a belter.
Oh, that's one.
In the Romanian side right there.
I'm just picking out this one. I'm going to actually end on this because James is the first, before even Football Manager, to get Tobias Svensson in. And you're still the only custom database with him, James?
Well, if I am, somebody's been having a wee sneak peek.
I wouldn't be surprised. But Tobias Svensson, as Tom Evans, thank you for listening, by the way, pal. As you've just said, Sander Svensson, who must be thrown in the second team currently. There we are. He's only 16, and them stats are good for a 16-year-old. He's definitely a player. He's doing fantastic for Molde at the minute. And as we've just shown, his younger brother is also coming through the ranks, and he's tearing up the youth leagues. So definitely one to look out for in future Football Managers is Tobias Svensson. And will he be a Football Manager legend? Who knows? I guess it's us and the fans of Football Manager who create the legends, isn't it? Not the players themselves.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I've actually really enjoyed just randomly going through players and reminiscing. Jake says Vadala was like a mini Messi last year. But this is the thing, everyone has a story of players who they remember and stuff. But yeah, James, thank you for the effort you put into the database on your page. I'm sure people will love to download it.
Yeah.
People who missed the start, the link's in the description below. If you listen back on YouTube or if you're watching live, there is a link below if you go into the actual link page. But yeah, enjoy the database, download it, take Crew up to the top with all the FM legends that James has added in. And as always, cheers for all coming on, lads. And
No
we'll all be back for Monday night, the three of us again. So we will see you then.